All right. We're going to be talking about Shadur Sanders today. And we're going to be discussing this in a way that I call an empirical analysis. And I call it that because I only like to discuss various topics in a way that is empirical, meaning we're going to discuss it to get to the answer, and that answer can be verified with facts and hard data statistics. Let's get to the truth. Let's use logic instead of just using emotion all the time to get to the point. Okay, and at the root of this, I'm going to tell you the title of this discussion, if we gave it one, would be Blood Science. All of a sudden, Bumpy want to start walking. Shut up! Anyhow, blood science. Why do we call it blood science? And how is that related to what just happened to Shadur Sanders in the NFL draft? Well, when you're dealing with the white supremacist, you must know his mindset. You must know his tendencies. You must know his modus operandi. And you must know his tactics. He has, there go Jumbo just jumped on right there. So I don't know what to do. Let me see. Let me do this. All right, there go Jumbo right there. Okay. All right, there we go. Hey, Mr. Bishop, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey, man, you don't have any filters that can make you look more dark-skinned?
You said what?
You don't have any filters that can make you look more dark-skinned?
Nah, men don't do filters, homie.
Oh, okay, so you all right being light-skinned?
I don't know what skin I am when I'm African. It don't matter.
All right, man, I'm just bull-jiving. How you been, though? You good?
I'm all right, bro.
Well, let me ask you the original, the basic question. Do you think, and if you do or not, why, that there was some sort of conspiracy or some effort to sabotage or undermine Shadur Sanders and Deion Sanders and pretty much the whole Sanders family with this NFL draft? Do you believe that?
Do I believe it was a sabotage?
Mm-hmm.
Of course I do.
Okay. And when you say sabotage, what do you mean by sabotage?
I mean by any way to push a person behind, where they don't benefit. It just ruins them.
So any effort that disadvantages a person or hurts or harms them.
Right.
Correct. Okay. And would this be an open and honest thing that you're doing, or would this be a behind-the-scenes covert thing that you're doing?
When it's sabotage, it's covert.
Okay, so in this instance, would you say this was covert or overt?
I would say this is covert.
Okay. Now, why would you say it's covert if it's not a secret?
Because a prank is always done as like a disguise, right? To make people believe something else, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And, if you actually think about the prank, was it malicious or was it not malicious?
The prank?
Now, the prank, right?
Oh, prank? I got confused because they did a prank call on Shadur as well. Did you know that? Yeah. Okay. So that was a whole extra slap in his face. But anyways, go ahead. What was your question?
No, I didn't have a question. You was just saying, how did I think that it was more covert?
Oh, you think they did?
I was just breaking it down.
Yeah, but okay. Well, I don't think it was covert at all because it's not covert when it's so obvious that everybody knows. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
And this was so obvious, and there's so many different ways that it was obvious. This man was ranked as a first-round draft pick, in particular, a top 10 draft pick. And some people had him ranked as the number one quarterback. It's back and forth between him and Cam Ward the whole time. Nobody said he was going to the second round, let alone the third, let alone this is so covert because it's undeniable. I mean, if this was a crime, it would be a terribly done crime. They would be going to prison. And so what I'm saying is that not only did every single team pass on him, every single team passed on him multiple times. And even the team that drafted him drafted a different quarterback right before him that nobody knows. Do you feel me?
Yeah.
So this gets to be obvious. Let me ask you a question, because I can tell you from my experiences organizing, it's hard to get 3 people to do one thing the exact same way in coordination. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're right.
I have 3 daughters that have to do what I say or I can punish them. And it's still hard to get all 3 of them to do it exactly how I say with no variation. Do you feel me? So you tell me how in the blue hell you can get 32, 33, I think it's 32, 33 teams in the league, all owned by wealthy, respected billionaires who you know got egos. How in the blue hell do you get all 33 of them in lockstep on the same accord to pass on this player that could help their team in multiple ways? All of them in lockstep, the exact same thing as if it was orchestrated by goddamn Mike Shanahan or some other offensive genius in the NFL. How can you do it? And how can you say that's a secret?
All right, so because you said it that way, I'm going to say this is what happens with those people who stay on code with their people. That's what that is. They stay on code. Those people don't go against the grain at all. That just don't happen. That only happens in our communities.
Okay.
We always want to go against stuff. That's why you can't get your 3 daughters to do the same thing.
Hey man, don't talk about my kids.
Hey, hey, we replay this live. You said it first.
Hey, that's right. That's now you know I can say stuff about my children that you can't say. Nah, how about that? Because one of them is light skinned like you. How about that? Nah, moving forward. I got my notes right here, bro. All right. So I don't think it was covert. It got to the point where it was open, obvious, and right in your face. God damn it, I think they meant it to be right in their face. So let me hit a few of these points I put down here. I heard one of the retired white quarterbacks, I think it was Phil Simms, he was giving an analysis, and it was so covertly and overtly white supremacist and elitist that it was undeniable. And he said, and I direct quote you, who does the Deion Sanders family think they are? How dare they think they're not the Mannings? They're not Archie Manning and Eli Manning and Peyton Manning, the first family of football. Who the hell do they think they are that they can dictate which team their son goes to and which team he doesn't go to? How dare they act in that way? He said it himself that's how he felt personally, and that's how the vast majority, and I can't even use the vast majority of the league. Every single owner in the league agreed with him. And not only that, it was so bad that the owners were telling the GMs and head coaches, take him off our draft board. Meaning, we know he's a first-round draft pick talent, but not only we don't want to give him a fair shake and draft him, we're not even going to evaluate him. Take him off the board. Meaning, whatever he put on film, whatever he did good, we don't really care to even know. We're not even going to look at it. He's off the board. He's off limits. No, we don't care how fast he can run, how well he can throw. We don't even want to look at it. It's not going to happen. So what I'm saying is that, God dang, this man admitted that they were, even Skip Bayless came on and he said, the going cliche amongst NFL coaches and GMs and owners was like this. This is how they would greet each other throughout the build up to this draft. Fuck Deion and his son. Okay? Now respond to that.
All right, so if anybody has been following Deion Sanders' career, right? He has not been the most liked player, right? And because he broke records and he did all this stuff, he was very vocal when he was doing the college. He was being a college coach, right? And they had a problem. They had a problem with him speaking up for the black players, right? And the HBCUs and all that other stuff.
That's a fact.
So this ain't nothing new for Deion Sanders. And if you know history, you know that every time, I don't care if you a house Negro or whatever, right? Whatever you want to call it. Whenever you are a black person, especially a black man, and you do things that just continue to go against the structure, you're gonna always have problems, and your children, unfortunately, they pick up those problems. And now it's up to you if you're gonna teach them how to engage and how to deal with those problems. So, with everything that's going on right now, this shit ain't nothing new. Whenever black people do great things, because it's in us to do great things, you're always gonna get backlash. Always.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you know what? You made two good points there. You said if you look at the history, and it's important that you do know the history because you can get halfway to the answer without a lot of debate if you just look at the history, because the best predictor of the future is the past. And those are absolute facts. If you look at the history, just ask yourself, just on common history or a slightly above average level of history, does the European conservative, wealthy, elite white male have a history of colluding to destroy, marginalize, disadvantage, and defeat the like you just said, outspoken, proud, strong black alpha male? And that's an absolute yes. You would agree with that, correct?
Correct.
He has a history of it. So if you know the history, like you just said, it ain't hard to look at it and analyze what's going on right before your eyes. It's an easy answer. And speaking of easy answer, I want to go to eugenics, but I'm gonna make a quick stop on Cris Carter. Everybody knows Cris Carter. He's a Hall of Fame former wideout for the Minnesota Vikings. He was an Uncle Tom then, and he's an Uncle Tom now. And Cam Newton, another big Uncle Tom. And the good thing about situations like this, some people don't even care about football. A lot of people don't. Most blacks been pissed off against the NFL since Colin Kaepernick, even though he's not black. That's another discussion. But these two guys I just gave, I don't like Colin Kaepernick, okay? Anyhow, these two guys that I just said, Cris Carter gave an interview. And when he gave this interview on this topic, the first thing that popped in my mind was that if they make another Django movie, they should let Cris Carter have Samuel L. Jackson's role. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Because this idiot, you would call him a house Negro, a willing and enthusiastic house Negro. He sat there in this interview and said, and I'm giving you direct quotes, he said, they taught him a lesson. They taught Shedeur a good lesson. And the guy says, who? Who taught him? And Cris Carter says, oh yeah, the system. The system taught him a lesson. You can't come in here proud like that. The guy said, what did he do wrong? He said, he wears chains and he wears expensive clothes. A bunch of irrelevant stuff. Do you hear me? But the number one role of a house Negro is to put a black face on white supremacy and to be a staunch denier that white supremacy is the easy and accurate explanation for what's going on. It's their job to be deniers. Now, I always had questions about Cam Newton, but they were more about his gender confusion status. I'll just put it like that, based on his attire and other things that I've heard about him in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where he's from. No, that's the white Howard. I think they're both from Atlanta, which the white's questionable too. Anyhow, that's not what we're talking about tonight. But Cam Newton came out and said, yeah, as a quarterback, you got to lead with work, not clout. You're not supposed to lead with clout. You're supposed to lead with work. Hey, dumbass, this kid been working his whole life. His dad is the greatest athlete probably in the history of the world. He was born, bred, and raised studying, learning, and living the game. How much harder can a black man goddamn work? Do you feel me? So I just wanted to let you guys know that these sports situations are revealing. The terms are exposed in these types of situations. You can tell, put it like this, you can tell every gender confused, questionable entertainer, comedian in Black America by how they responded to that Cat Williams interview that he did on Club Shay Shay, because it hit dog a holler. Everybody that identifies with that system that Cat was exposing said bad things about the interview. Everybody who don't identify with that gender fluidity, Illuminati, P. Diddy society, the ones that are against it, we was like, damn, Cat tell them hot five. But it doesn't piss you off, because if the shoe don't fit, you don't have to wear it. You see what I'm saying? So anyhow, Chris Carter and Cam Newton were exposed, just like Cat Williams exposed a lot of hit dogs in that interview. So do you have any further feeling about those two Uncle Toms that we just talked about?
No, I don't have nothing about those people. I don't really care.
Yeah, me either. But I just can't stand Chris Carter with that big old long hook nose. I'd love to slap the taste out of him if I seen him. And Randy Moss was so much better than him anyways, and a better person. Randy Moss actually had guts to stand up for black people. Chris Carter is a bootlicking coon. And then never mind. I ain't getting into it no more. Let's go back to eugenics. What's eugenics? Eugenics is a pseudoscience created by white supremacists to justify the inferior classification and status of black people and non-white people, but in particular black people, and to promulgate and promote means to slowly but surely control, decrease our population, and wipe us out. It's the things that the Nazis took and put into out in the open over in Nazi Germany. And these are also the things that Margaret Sanger put in place with Planned Parenthood, the thinking behind wanting to exterminate as many black people as you could. In one way, is abortions. Anyhow, I say all that to say with eugenics, they're very concerned about DNA. They're very concerned about the blood. And there is some science to it, but then it's very skewed, misinterpreted, misrepresented, and used as propaganda. So anyhow, I say all that to say this. The European slave owner was smart enough to know, and still is, that the energy, the spirit, the traits, the animosity, the strength of that next generation is going to pass through them from the blood of their mother and father, and in particular with these males, their father. And if you let one of these males that has the rebellious, the charismatic, strong DNA reproduce other males, it's quite likely that could spread, and now we're dealing with a goddamn in the mind of the eugenics infestation or an overthrow. And so this is essentially what I have seen this whole situation to be. Number one, Deion Sanders became so dangerous, and what I mean by dangerous is he had so very many few weaknesses. The main weakness that many of these black men have are weaknesses that are installed in them by this system. And by that, I mean they get dirt on you. They get things on you that they can hold over your head. And you have to comply or you'll get exposed, just like what happened just now with Shannon Sharpe. You would be allowed to reach a certain level, but if you ever step out of line, they got dirt already lined up on you to knock you back down. Correct? And so Deion was not only a three-sport athlete, possibly the greatest athlete of all times, highly charismatic, can even make a rap video, can dance, can dress, and they had to deal with that for years and years and years, came out of retirement whenever he wanted to. Then he went into coaching from high school to college, to the HBCUs, now to Colorado. He just hasn't been stopped anywhere. And the European is definitely keeping track of that. It's like he can't lose. And that's all fine, as long as he's isolated and by himself. But the most dangerous part about it is now that he's reproducing himself, they may have to deal with that whole situation times 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that's scary to the blood scientists, the eugenicists, the white supremacists. And so they have to do whatever they can to make sure, hey, if one of them does reach that powerful status where he can influence a whole power structure like the NCAA or the NFL, that's bad enough. The last thing we're going to do is let it spread. So that's how I look at it, Jumbo. Tell me what you think.
Okay, so I was having a conversation similar this morning about black people, mainly black men, how we are automatically born behind a line, and the line keeps getting pushed further away from us whenever we get close to it.
Moving the goalposts. That's right.
Is out here in society. And whenever a black man reaches the line and they cannot stop him in that line or even passing that line. I'm not talking about no Tiger Woods. I mean,
yeah, we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
Black, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a straight black male reaches that point, they always doing something to basically try to keep that shit, right? And no matter what you do, it's hard to break that spirit.
Mm-hmm.
When you did the live about George Jackson, it's that spirit that he had, right?
Hard head.
Or rebellious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing that you're going to be able to do when certain black people tap into the great that's already in us.
Mm-hmm.
The YouTube program was something that was created because they can't stop, right? Mm-hmm. And it goes right along with, or I'm going to say it runs parallel with I can't think of her name, but I got booked in medical apartheid, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about.
I can't remember her name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. It runs parallel, right, with how we have the genes and everything that they wish they had,
mm-hmm.
and they try to extract, they try to steal it, they try to duplicate, they just can't, right?
Correct. Just like in Get Out.
Yeah, just like having children that put those traits, possess those genetics, just like LeBron James and his children, right? They hate that shit. They hate it. There's no way to put it. I can't put it lightly. They hate it.
They hate it.
And if they can do anything to sabotage, like sicking pig tuners on the children, so they have these half mixed out here, or they could get them in some compromising
mm-hmm.
situations. We already know that we are behind the line. That is one thing that black people are always trying to get, because it's hard to get as resources or money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they use those deter us or to throw us all the way off. And you better not be one of them black people that get on the elevator, go up, and send it back down for your people.
Hell no.
One of them, you out.
Hell no.
That's out. You getting cut out of everything, right?
You best believe it.
And so one of my people's on here, he on here right now, but he sent me a video that was saying something about how black people have a very pessimistic mentality, right? It's on somebody's podcast or some shit, and white people don't have that mentality. They're very optimistic, but they steal shit. They don't never say they can't do something. But when it comes to us, they don't even believe that they can't do it. They still try. They keep trying. They keep trying to break us, trying to do whatever they can. And some of us fall victim to it, unfortunately. And some don't. It's sad that a lot of our great ancestors, the scholars, that they died the way they did because they pushed forward so much shit that the white folks they just couldn't do nothing about it. We proved that we way more intelligent in all aspects. We proved that we continue to prove it. You have people that have been enslaved for 400 years, and that didn't break them. That don't break them. We talking about coming out of slavery, didn't even know we was freed, and we end up becoming rich. And they come in and do what? Set Black Wall Street on fire, riots, and all this shit, right? So it's not nothing that you're gonna be able to do to really break. Fortunately, now, if people been paying attention, they've been very strategic about placing us against each other, so we don't have that unity that allows the above slavery, above lynchings, above all type of shit. So now you get on. That's what we here right now talking about, saying shit about how, we got bootlicking people. We all, right? But back in the day, you probably wasn't allowed to really know bootlicker, right? It's just, with unity, yeah, you go over there if you want to. You go over there if you want to. And you're going to have some shit. That's it.
Well, you see, that's an actual fact, because it seems like that's a good point. We don't when it comes, even in defending those accused of crimes in court. It's like we gotta, because one of the main ways, I could tell you two simple ways that are race neutral and could be passed and could become constitutional law to govern the entire country, and that would drastically and radically reduce the black prison population overnight, and that would be to ban evidence from confidential informants, because that evidence is unreliable. It's coerced by police. They're working for the cops to get other brothers locked up, snitches, rats, whatever you call it. That evidence is unreliable. It should be banned completely, and a lot of brothers wouldn't be locked up right now. But going back to what you just said, in the past, when we had more unity, there was punishment mechanisms in place for people who got off our code. We had a code. We still do have a code, some of us, and we would enforce it. There was a consequence to stepping out of line, just like in the black community. It used to be a consequence for being a snitch. Snitches get stitches, but not no more. It's almost like we got a short-term memory. I'm giving you actual facts. It's dudes in Jacksonville, Duval County, Florida right now, and I can't say the names, even though I want to, that are walking around free right now because they told on their best friends in court, in the goddamn, you can see it on the docket, released due to cooperation with the state. You know what cooperation with the state means, right? And these guys get out and walk around free, clear, and Just like the community forgot that snitching was supposed to be wrong. Ain't no more punishment. Snitches don't get stitches no more. They get nice cars and houses.
They get riches.
Yeah, snitches. snitches get riches. Yeah. So you're right. It's like we got a short-term memory now, like, bro. So we just can pretend like this not a snitch. When I came up, that's the worst two things you could be called: a homosexual or a snitch. I mean, what's worse? A woman beater? That's probably next on the list, but a homosexual or a snitch, those weren't allowed. Well,
those is fighting
words. Yeah, those is fighting words.
Those fighting words.
All right. So yeah, so let's look at this situation and the blacks that endorsed it, Chris Carter and Cam Newton. We got to work on ways to start putting our coons back in check. But the problem is our coons they get the social media influence. Cam Newton, all he is now is a YouTuber, and he's complaining about how he can't live the lifestyle he used to live in the NFL. Why the hell not? Because he got too many goddamn baby mamas and kids. Goddamn, even the millions can get drained quick with kids. And you know that? He's got, no, I ain't gonna get into these children. But anyway, yeah, we got to think about what we're going to do in response, because we got to have a code and some form of enforcement. Shoot, even the homosexuals and the liberal leftists say, if you get canceled by them, shit, that's hard on your reputation to come back. Even they have a way to enforce what they want. You know what I'm saying? You get totally canceled if you say something about Barack Obama, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and one of those people. So we got to think about that. Now, one thing I did like, though, is that when they did that to Shador, apparently black people around the country went out and they done made his jersey the #1 selling jersey in the world, right? So blacks was like, look, we siding with Shador on this one. Now the NFL probably like, so what? We still getting money off of it. But at least some blacks had enough consciousness, even though I hate to use that word, but it's almost accurate in this sense. At least they had enough consciousness to be pissed off about how they treated that black child. You know what I'm saying? Now talk about this, Django, because I called you Django. That's how mad I am right now. Because I'm finna say something really, I was about to say some mean shit. Yeah, I talk about this a lot. And I'm going to continue to talk about it. You couldn't fathom the devil of Satan, meaning you couldn't even imagine how far he'll go and what he'll do. I just talk about it frequently. I just give examples like feeding babies to alligators, wild alligators. That really happened, right? That really happened. They'll go to no ends. It's no rules. It's bare knuckles, you feel me? And what they did to Shador, they wouldn't even pass. I can't imagine even a slave owner will beat the slave, but at some point he said, I don't want to beat him all the way to death. It's almost like they wanted to kill Shador, because not only they let that boy sit there embarrassed on national TV, round after round after round, team after team and team again, right? They give out his phone number and let the white boy prank call him in the middle of it and pretend like he's a GM, telling him he's going to get drafted, and fucking laugh and put it on social media like that. And ain't nobody. How bad do you want to hurt him? How much do you want to destroy Deion? How scared of you of what Deion could do? Because right after it happened, the clip came out of Shador going up laughing and smiling with the commissioner, and Shador said, "Hey, when he was talking for his brother, he said, I want my brother to have free reign when he get in the league." And then Goodell said, in a direct quote, he said, "He's like, we ain't worried about your brother. It's your dad we worried about." He said it. What the hell are you worried about Deion for? You think he finna rape somebody, blow something up? He ain't got no criminal record. The man don't drink or smoke or curse. He don't even curse.
So you know what scares white men the most?
Go ahead.
Is a black man's influence. It ain't money. It's influence.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't stop the influence, they'll figure out a way to interfere with it.
And that's where
that influence is powerful.
Mm-hmm. Well,
look what they did to Malcolm, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali. Man, the list goes on and on. What do they do when black men have influence, especially with? But we talking about with social media. It's on Android.
That's true, and that's one of the things they kept citing about the man. I heard one of them say, "Wait, you think he's gonna go in the NFL and have cameras in the locker room and make social media posts and like all the stuff they did at Colorado?" Bruh, you fucking hater. This man, you said, bruh, it's so easy for a coach to say, look, we don't do cameras in the locker room here. That's not a major, that's not a character flaw that they took advantage of social media to market the Colorado program. They say, well, they showing everything behind the scenes. Well, what the hell you got to hide that you couldn't show at a college football game? Do you feel me? Anyhow, so they faulting this man. This man ain't never been arrested. He ain't never been in trouble. But like you say, it's the influence. And that's the. And I was training with one of my young BPM soldiers the other day. He grown now, and I told him, I said, let me tell you something that I learned over all the stuff we've been through the years, raising these boys and running this program. I say the one thing that they fear, even more than the straight hyper-masculine alpha male. And Shannara say, what? I say, if that straight hyper-masculine alpha male start teaching others to be that way, and they follow, and it starts to spread, like you said, influence, that terrorizes them. Because the way Goodell said, we worried about your dad. We, well, who is we? Apparently, because Goodell's not even the owner, he's the commissioner. So apparently the commissioner, owners, GMs, and head coaches are all worried about Deion. Why the hell you so scared? Like you said, his influence. But ain't nothing you can do to stop it. Nah, here go the crazy part about it, though. They can't, you speak on this. They came out and said, well, he got a chance. He did finally get drafted. So now he got to go in there and prove himself to prove all them teams that passed on him that he got to prove they was wrong. Well, let me ask you a question. If the only team that did draft him waited all the way to the 5th round, and then they drafted another quarterback before him that nobody even knows, and they already got a quarterback over there that they gave I think he got $230 million, Deshaun Watson. I believe that's who they already got on their roster. And he was sued for raping white porn stars. They still gave him a big contract, but they wait to the 5th round to get Shedeur. But all that being said, with all that's going on, what makes you think they really going to give that man a fair evaluation and a fair shot to actually play and become a starter? If we just went through all this to besmirch your name and your whole family, what makes you think he's going to get to Cleveland and he got a fair chance against these other motherfucking quarterbacks? Or like you say, they got to keep moving the goalposts. Well, he's got to work on his deep pass. Then he get that. Well, now what about the short pass? Then he get that. Well, we just don't like his attitude still. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like he's really going to get, like, do you believe he's really going to get a fair shot at success in the NFL?
No.
Neither.
He already got too many things working against him.
All these things working against
being black with a father. Being black with a father.
Red flag. Hey, that's a red flag. When that became a red flag, well, Deion would be probably a goddamn black flag if that's the case, because not only you a black kid with a father, you got a strong, wealthy, well-connected, experienced, articulate father, and he has passed those traits on to you. God damn it, Deion Sanders went and took over the HBCUs. The black coaches was hating on him then. Then he decided to go take over the white college. I understand why Urugu is afraid, because God damn it, what the hell you gonna take over next? You hear me? You hear me?
And who could relate to black males, young black males, better than a older black male?
The only person that could do it better than an older black male is an older black male that got other younger black males already with him. Because when Deion go next, now you can say, well, I don't think if I didn't convince him, Shedeur, now you go talk to him. Colorado going to get every goddamn recruit they want to get. But I understand why we need to. You can make a rap song like I know why they're scared, and I know why. How in the hell do you come into a program that, and you got to tell the truth, man? The Colorado football program would be the equivalent of, God damn it, I wouldn't even put it as an average program. I would put it as a sideshow level program. How in the hell and by sideshow, I mean, if you think about the old Big 12, you want to watch Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? If you think about Colorado was never a marquee name. Matter of fact, the one time Colorado, I think Nebraska beat Colorado so bad one year, they ran like 60. Nebraska beat Colorado, ran like 62 points on them. It's a middle of the road program, and they say Colorado football had the highest ratings in the country once Deion took over the program. How in the blue hell can Colorado get higher ratings than Ohio State, USC? I'm talking about Michigan. I'm talking about Florida, Florida State, the marquee programs. Everybody tuning in to watch Colorado. Somebody should write Roger Goodell a letter and say, hey, man, I'll be worried about Deion too if I was you. Because it seems like there's nothing he can't do. That's what it seems like. It seems like there's nothing he can't do. Go ahead, Jumbo.
No, hey, I agree with all of that you just said, bro.
Mm-hmm. You got rappers and all type of famous celebrities flying in from across the world just to stand on the sidelines and watch Colorado? Colorado? I don't know nothing good that come out of Colorado except herbal products that they.
You're in the state, bro. You're in the state where football is everything, right?
Correct. I know. Everything.
You got going to the Rockies.
Going to Colorado. Colorado. What the hell is in Colorado? Some mountains? We don't know how to ski, bro. We don't know how to ski. Hey, and trust me, I know the different environments because ain't too many of us in Iowa either. So, hey, I know. I know. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I want to talk about that Deion again, because if you could take over the HBCU scene, and he did it in what, 2-3 years? I mean, they were mad when he did that, and then he started this national discussion about HBCUs versus what they call them, PWIs, predominantly white institutions. He started a national discussion. He started a conscious discussion because some people say, oh, he a coon for using the black school and then leaving and jump to a white school. And then some people say, well, he was a hero. The HBCU athletics ain't never been on the map like it is now till Deion went and did what he did. Now you got 3-4, you got Eddie George, you got Michael Vick, you got a bunch of other black men that done got head coaching jobs behind the trend this man set. Behind the trend this man set, right? And I think we got to give, Deion ain't never claimed to be no radical revolutionary, but as a straight, proud black man that's willing to speak his mind and be a very involved dad, God damn it, I see why he can't cuss or drink, smoke or do drugs or have strippers and white women, because he always with his kids. From what I see, they go fishing together, they watch film together. I see Deion go in the weight room and jump on the bench and throw up about 275 a couple times with them boys. So you know what I'm saying? And this is what he did wrong in the eyes of the white supremacists. He did everything right, and that's what he did wrong. You see what I'm saying?
He went against the eugenic playbook.
Amen.
He went against it.
He went against it.
Whenever black men do that, bro, it comes. It comes with a price.
Well, you know what, though? But my
I'm a black father, got 2 black sons, and I'm always having to explain things for them to understand how to navigate, through this world, bro. My oldest son was the only black Marine poolee at the recruitment station. He was the squad leader there, right? I took all my kids with me to his poolee functions. All my kids can do pull-ups, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They had me running the program for the police over there, and then when they pulled that stunt with the vaccine, yeah, we cut it. They want to know how do I get all my kids to do pull-ups, and I'm like, I'm just different. We actually work out of my. That's how. When you get out of line, you doing push-ups. That's what we doing here. You know, we ain't doing all that talk, acting, going back and forth, and we not doing none of that. You don't like what's going on? We could be in the goddamn mall. I'm gonna tell you to drop and do some push-ups in Foot Locker. And it is what it is.
That's a fact.
Don't like. You could get out there and do some push-ups, right? It's discipline, bro.
Correct.
But they don't like that. That's another thing that I think black male right now society that we have to deal with the pushback of being disciplined black men, because everybody nowadays kind of hate discipline.
Oh hell yeah!
You can just say stuff.
Well,
hey, how you want?
Well, bro, the thing about discipline, bro. I mean, a core component of discipline is it's got to be a right and it's got to be a wrong, because how can you discipline me if it's nothing's really right and nothing's really wrong? Then I can't be held accountable for anything. And I say all that to say that the liberals, I call them the liberal, gender fluidist, feminist, manhood hating elite. They are consumed with destroying you being able to make a judgment call on what's right versus what's wrong, what's boy versus what's girl, what's good versus what's bad. Is that a man or is that a one? He could be either one he want any day of the week. Well, that's if there's no rules and there's no right and no wrong, how can you enforce discipline? You see what I'm saying? And if you don't have discipline, then hell, then that's when, like you say, you're an easy target for these Europeans to control you, because they're gonna be able to get dirt on you. They want these players to be desperate and dependent only on football as their whole life, not only as their means to earn a living, but their whole identity of who they are as people. I'm nothing without football. Football is who I am. And in that way, now, you got to do what you got to do, shut your mouth and walk the line, or it's back to the ghetto for you and your mom. And there was a coach from Kansas who said that years ago. He made a big controversy. Matter of fact, I think he got fired. Fat white coach told the black player, he said, if you don't want to work hard, you can just go back to the ghetto with the rest of your people. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, you'll go, Jumbo.
Hey, but see, there ain't no serious repercussions when white people keep it a buck, right? It ain't no serious for them like that. It's only serious repercussions for us.
Oh, that's a fact.
And we got like on the low. and for some, it really work out. But it is what it is.
Absolutely. So, man, I know a lot of y'all in HT&T ain't all even into football like that. But I came up in football. I played football all my life. And I went to college, because of football. And so I love everything about it. It's a great sport. I love the competition. I love the physical discipline, toughness, and strength that it requires. It teaches teamwork. You got to have confidence. Man, the main thing they hate about that boy they keep talking about is his goddamn confidence. He got too much confidence. He thinks too much of himself. He called himself a legend. Well, hey, dummy, Ali called himself the greatest before he was the greatest. Do you feel me? You just gonna tell me Michael Jordan didn't have confidence? They was walking around that man was calling himself Black Jesus. You think LeBron ain't got confidence? You think Donald damn Trump ain't got confidence? You think he ain't proud of, he ain't got no pride? What the hell is wrong with this boy? How you gonna become legendary if you don't believe you're legendary? So would you rather...
Confidence, you're supposed to be walking around here with your leotard pants on and a purse.
There you go. There you go.
Motherfuckers walking around, you can see the shape of their kneecaps.
There you go.
That's how they want you to be.
There you go.
They don't want you to be straight black, masculine, and it's not even being cocky. It's just I know what I know who I am. I'm very sure that you can break.
And you know what? One thing you just made me think of with Shedeur. I saw because you say you can't break me. They would love if they could break Shedeur apart from Deion, but they know they can't. Do you feel me? Because I asked Rogue, I say this is what I asked Rogue. I say, if they just wanted to get Deion, right? If they just wanted to besmirch Deion and embarrass him, then why didn't they sabotage Travis Hunter as well, right? And because Travis Hunter is essentially Deion Sanders' son too, right? Essentially, he raised him. He's more than a coach. He's like a father figure. And wherever Travis Hunter goes, if he does well, it's going to spread the fame of Colorado, and it's going to spread the legend of Deion even further. You feel me? So I say, why didn't they knock down Travis Hunter too? Why did they let him go by? And Rogue said, that's it. Because yes, Travis Hunter is like a son to Deion. They don't quite understand the influence of that. But what they do understand is that Shedeur has the blood of Deion in him. So it's not going to be no pulling Shedeur away. And he's going to have the same characteristics and tendencies that Deion have. And Deion tends to take over stuff and win all the time. So you know what you're going to be dealing with Shedeur. You're not going to be able to break it. And it's the thing that made it so clear. They was talking to Shedeur about a clothing line or a shoe line or something that was wanted to give him an endorsement deal to wear their stuff. And Shedeur didn't even hesitate. He was like, what am I do that for? My dad already got a clothing line or a shoe line or something. I'm going to wear his stuff. It wasn't a question to him. You know what I'm saying? My dad already, I'm sticking with that. And I'm like, God damn, that boy get it. Because you know that them LeVar Ball boys, they came out, he said, they came out and said they tied their daddy's shoes because them shoes is raggedy as fuck. And they said, I had to change shoes after every quarter. I'm like, man, if the shoes are bad, just don't talk about them like that because you're your dad. That's your dad. But Shedeur was totally different. It went without saying for him that if this is my dad brand, I'm rocking that. I mean, what you coming at? Go ahead.
So real quick. So Travis Hunter, it's not only because he's not his son, his biological son, right? But you look at his girlfriend, they already got him. You look at his girlfriend, they already got him.
Well, I don't think the girlfriend is the main thing that got him, because the girl gonna be gone real soon. she's gonna be gone. And those are facts, and I mean actual facts. Because, and the reason I say that is because Travis Hunter is, no, I'm not gonna use that word. What's the word? What's the put a little mentally? Oh, intellectually challenged. Yes, that's what I would call Travis Hunter. Emotionally and intellectually challenged. Because you can't be that dumb. Ain't no way you could be that dumb to even give that girl the time of day when you got a mentor like Deion Sanders. That's clearly giving you game. And I heard Deion Sanders say it out his mouth. He said, Travis, I'm going to write you the biggest prenup ever if you're going to marry that girl. He said it. And lack of better words, Deion was saying, if you're already writing the prenup, that means he already knows she is going to be out the door, right? So how Travis Hunter could even let this get this far lets me know that he's challenged. And they know a dumb Negro is easier to control than Shador with the Deion blood. Because one thing Deion ain't is dumb. And I heard Marshall Faulk explain it like this, and it meant a lot to me coming from a football background. He said he went out from the receiver, they flexed him out wide in motion from running back to a receiver. So Deion ended up in front of him because Deion was the man covering him. And Deion said, as soon as Marshall Faulk came to the line, Faulk was like, yeah, he was trying to talk trash, and Deion was like, look, man, you lined up this many yards out. It's this down. That's y'all formation. It's only one route you can run. That's a slant. And Deion Sanders made the play, almost took the ball. And Marshall Faulk was how the fuck did he already know that? It was only one route that I can possibly run based on these different variables that he done analyzed before they even snapped the ball type shit. You hear me? Before they even snapped the ball. A black man that can think like that, I mean, I don't even know or care how many people watching this, but if you take one thing away from this, go back and go make your kids read a goddamn book. Because a black man who can think like that, that's the reason they made it illegal for us to be able to read, write, communicate. They didn't want us with that level of intellect. They didn't want you reading. They didn't want you. This man is brilliant, right? And since we know that's their main fear, I don't see why every black child don't have a library in their room. You feel me? This man told Marshall Faulk the route he was about to run before Faulk ran the route. They don't want that. You hear me? This man, I see why they scared. Hell, I'm scared too. I want to see, hey, I'm feeling like when I already knew Trump was going to beat Koala, I was like, man, Koala is dumb. Trump way smarter than Koala. Hey, I say, I'm going to just sit back and see what's going to happen here because the only way they're going to beat Trump is to kill him. And it looked like they damn sure tried to do it, right? So they tried to kill him. So I'm looking at Deion like the only way they can stop him